What's up, guys, and welcome to the next weekly Ramble video. Before we get into this, I do want to apologize. Obviously, last week we missed not only a weekly Ramble, but also a podcast video. I was actually out of town. I had a work conference in California that took me through Thursday, so we just actually weren't able to record. So we do apologize for that, but obviously we're back on schedule now. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. We're all good. But a lot has happened in the last week or two, so we've got a lot to go over now. We're not going to go into too much detail on some of these things, but I did want to bring them up and at least mention them, and maybe in future podcast episodes or something like that, we'll probably talk about it a bit more. First big thing, obviously, Worlds was this past weekend. The World Championship was absolutely fantastic. I've been catching up with it. I'm basically through day one and partway through day two, so I'm about halfway. It was really, really interesting, albeit the format was not my favorite. Dominaria Draft, while interesting, it's been overplayed at this point. It would have been a little bit more exciting to see some differences, even throw in some modern, something like that. But we did get to see some Guilds of Ravnica, which was cool. And also just some regular standard, which is exciting as well. So very, very good. The winner, Javier Dominguez, congratulations, my friend. You are the world champion for 2018. That's absolutely fantastic. A lot of great players in the field. I know the team, Reed Duke's team, I believe Team Ultimate Guard also won the team challenge. Congratulations to them. Absolutely fantastic. Obviously, this is the pinnacle of Magic, right? Like, this is the World Championship. 23 players got to compete, and Javier Dominguez came out on top, so again, congratulations to him. My point there, Gerry Thompson, at the last minute, posted, I saw the Reddit, I don't know if it was originally posted on, the subreddit, but basically, he was protesting the way that Pro Tours, Championships, GPs, the entire Magic system, he's basically protesting how it's been run for the past few years, and he actually makes some solid points. I want to point out that Gerry Thompson is very much a pro player. He plays on the Pro Tour. He's fantastic. He's known for being very, very kind of out there with his brews, which is fantastic. I think it's awesome. He's a fan favorite for a lot of people, and honestly, I do enjoy watching him play. I think he's a fantastic player. Seems like a nice guy. Obviously, I've never met him, but he seems like a good guy as well. And basically, he was just kind of fed up with the way that things have been run for the past few years, and so he very cleanly and very detailed out basically everything that he was protesting by not showing up to Worlds. He even gave tips and ways that maybe these things can be improved and better the system for Magic and for his players. Excuse me. And so I like the way he went about this. He was not trying, it didn't come across at least as trying to be overdramatic or just, complain about a million things and then just make this big deal about it. He definitely laid things out, and obviously not showing up to Worlds is a big deal. But he did lay out some very specific things that were, if you're not a pro player, you may not be able to, like, you wouldn't necessarily know about some of these things, and he brought them to light, as well as just the general stuff, prize support, things like that, making it easier for people to actually live the dream of becoming a pro Magic player, which obviously a lot of people want to do, but not a lot of people get to do. It's a very tough thing. It's gotten harder as the field has gotten bigger. They don't allow more and more people into Worlds, for instance, or the Pro Tour. And so it's still a very difficult system to get through, and he was basically laying these points out and maybe suggesting some ways that they could improve upon the system as it currently stands. So I don't know. I'm in support of obviously upping the quality of not only coverage, but also the tournaments themselves, and hopefully allowing more people to kind of get onto a GP or get onto the Pro Tour or do whatever, like have some fun with it and actually go somewhere with it, because obviously that's the goal. That's what a lot of people are trying to do. So I do agree with him in that sense. I don't know 100% if I agree with his way of doing it in terms of just dropping out of Worlds. I do think it makes a statement, though, which is clearly what he was trying to do. And more power to him for having the balls basically to say, I'm not going to go to the World Championship of this awesome game. So anyway, not going to harp on that too much. We'll probably mention this again on a podcast episode, and I'd like to actually get Will's perspective because I don't have his perspective as of right now. I haven't even talked to him about it, so it'd be interesting to see. Couple more things though. We do have guild kits. The full deck lists are released, and they actually look pretty good. I haven't really read anybody's reviews on them. I think we will probably do either a short review on a podcast, or I'll mention a little bit more in upcoming weekly rambles. But the deck lists actually look really solid. They very much remind me of the Challenger decks, though these are not standard legal. Obviously, they've got a lot of older cards in them. I like that they have a smattering of cards from not only original Ravnica, Returned Ravnica, but also the new Guilds of Ravnica. I think it's a cool way to sort of bring them all together as one fun set. And the decks actually do look pretty solid. Like, obviously, there are a bunch of one-ofs and things like that, but a lot less than you'd probably think, and there's actually just really good cards in there. So, really happy to see that. I was going to mention a few specific cards, things like Deathrite Shaman and stuff, but most of you will probably have seen the deck list by now because we're a little bit late on this weekly ramble. But it is a really, really sweet product. I'm excited to get my hands on it and actually give it a shot, because where I feel like these like Challenger decks kind of felt this way too. We get intro decks obviously with every set, but they're very much beginner, like not very exciting. They're fun if you just want to like sit down with somebody who's maybe new to the game. They're very basic, they're stripped down, they're fun. But they're not actually all that good. And while you can't expect to get like a perfect out-of-the-box competitively viable deck from a Wizards product, I just don't think that's reasonable. I do think this kind of fills the gap a little bit. It sort of is like, you know, this may not be perfect, but this has got some substance to it. It's worth it to get this product, even if you're not necessarily a standard player or a modern player. There are cards in these sets that are worth it. You know what I mean? And you may not make all your money back on it. It may not be value-wise what you think it should be at and everything like that, but they're good decks. They're fun. And so I'm excited to get this product and actually test it out. Hopefully you guys are too. But I would be interested to know your opinions on it. What's your favorite? That kind of a thing. Just so let us know in the comment section below. The other thing I want to mention, so because of Guilds of Ravnica, I actually am starting to care about Standard. I know, weird day. Yeah, as you guys know probably by now, I'm not a Standard player. I generally play Modern or Cube Draft. So Standard really is not my thing. But I really, really like the way Guilds of Ravnica looks. And as you may have heard on one of our podcast episodes at least, we do have, Will and I both have sort of a backbone of a Sultai or Bug mid-range kind of control-y deck that we're really, really interested in. There's a lot to it, and it seems really, really good. Green, black in general seems really, really good, though I do think having the blue in there makes it even better. So I'm really interested to see how this one goes. This standard environment, I should say, but it should be really, really sweet. With that, though, I kind of want to bring deck techs back. I was doing some just digging around on the internet, as I do, and, excuse me, I was a little sick last week, so I apologize. But I stumbled upon Star City Games, Brad Nelson, and, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Another player. They were playing basically Guilds of Ravnica Standard. They had proxied out cards, and they were able to build decks out of these. And they each built 3, I believe, one of which was a Sultai mid-range deck. And very reminiscent of the deck that we were thinking of putting together, albeit a much more kind of loose version, much less focused, excuse me, but still very, very solid. And so I watched the gameplay. They did, standard match. It was pretty good. The Sultai deck, I believe, won it. And I looked at the list, and obviously there were similarities between what we were doing and some things that we were not doing. And so what I thought would be kind of fun is to do a deck tech on that, because obviously we didn't build that Brad Nelson deck, but it looks really, really fun, and it's a great starting point that hopefully you guys can then take and brew, maybe focus down into something very, very specific. And so that's something that I actually have scripted out. I haven't recorded yet. But I do kind of want to do that and maybe get back into just regular deck techs every once in a while. Again, maybe just for like brewing points for you guys to start with. At least give you an idea for a deck list, and then you can take it and make it your own. So that's something that you may see back on the channel over the next week or two, is at least that deck tech, and then if I see something else, I don't think I'm going to make it just like a regular series like we've done in the past where it was like an every Tuesday thing. We've already got a lot of content, and with full-time jobs, it's just not realistic to have too many videos, unfortunately, but to do it every once in a while, I think would be a lot of fun. So I think that's going to be something that we start bringing back just every once in a while. Hopefully you guys enjoy those. It seems like in the past you guys really have, and we never even touched Standard, which is usually the format where deck techs do the best. And so we'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys enjoy that, but yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for this weekly ramble. A bit of a rambly one because there was a lot to talk about. There's obviously tons more with guilds coming out very, very soon. Pre-releases this weekend, which I might actually go to. Hopefully you guys are, but I'm really, really excited about it. Hopefully you guys are too, but I'm going to end this weekly ramble finally. Thanks for watching, guys. Of course, please leave a like or a comment down below. If you did enjoy the video, we really appreciate it. Of course, subscribe. Stay tuned on all of our other content. Really quick, the last thing I forgot to mention this. We have a giveaway coming if it's not already released, but it's going to be a Guilds of Ravnica bundle. And all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, do the normal thing. The post will be out there, you'll see it. So definitely stay tuned for that. Hopefully somebody out there will win. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next weekly ramble.